Now let's have a Hollywood smile.
Hi, I am Zoe with Paranormal Extraction and welcome to my show once again. Today we have Crystal on and she's going to be giving me a psychic reading and she is well known. So if you haven't had a reading before, you're going to experience this with me. So I'm being very vulnerable today with everybody on getting this reading. So let's go ahead and get started. Crystal, hi!
Hi guys, hi Zoe.
Hi!
Okay. Good morning. You look beautiful as ever.
Well, so do you, as usual. And I love your background.
I have the Valentine's vibes going on.
I love that, but I love the crystals and the candles and everything that you got going on there.
Thank you. Well, I just took a few things that I usually work with when I'm doing readings, so just to give you guys all a little idea how I do my reading.
Okay, why don't you explain a little bit about how you do these or what we're going to do today, because I'm a little nervous.
Okay, don't be nervous because first of all, this is actually the second time I've ever done like a recorded reading. I've done many readings, but I just normally I don't do this kind of stuff, but just because of the relationship we have and we trust each other a lot already, I feel comfortable. And because I know that you wanted to do this, the reason I usually don't go live or record it is because sometimes very deep personal information comes out. Now, I'm not the kind of reader that's going to tell you you're going to die or be in a tragic accident. It's not that I don't see that stuff for people, but I choose to focus more on the positive things and the blessings that are going to be coming in. And yes, sometimes a little bit of, bad news might come up, but I always try and redirect that and bring in ways that you can either prevent those things or deal with those things in a lighter way. So with that being said, I use oracle cards. I use a pendulum. I had this particular pendulum for, I don't know, maybe 10 years. And it's like my go-to favorite thing. I have crystal ball that I use for scrying. And honestly, most of the time what I'm known for, I work at a psychic shop here in Orange County. And my specialty is just doing intuitive reading. So most of the time, the messages just come to me like clairvoyantly. I have visions, I see pictures of things. So actually, these like tools, the cards that I have and all this stuff is really, it works for me, but it's kind of more, I use it as confirmation for my clients so they know that, yes, I'm really seeing these things and here's the card to confirm it too. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it does. So what type of decks or what are you going to be using today with me is what I want to know.
Okay, so today with you, we are actually going to be working with some of your angels. So I have an angel card deck. I just grabbed like a few of the decks that I use with people. I have so many and I have like 20 or something, so I didn't want to bring them all out. I just grabbed the ones that are kind of popular that people like to use. So we're going to do a little bit of goddess guidance. And then later, if you want, I might do like a romance angel reading for you if you want. I'll leave that up to you. I'm gonna do, I'll let you ask the question, so we'll use the pendulum and the crystal ball for that. I wanted to show you this, but I'm not gonna work with this deck today, but I just wanted to give them an example. So I have a couple decks that kind of dive deeper into like emotional issues for people. But the reason I like to use these decks is because it tells you the truth. I mean, it's not fluffy and cotton candy and everything's going to be great. It tells them why they're having these issues and what they need to do to overcome those issues. So we're not going to use this today because we're not going to go that deep and personal, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. So like I said, I don't like to leave people in despair. I never want to leave anybody feeling doomed with any messages that I give them in a reading. So I always want to leave them off with like the meditations that they can do. If I can't think of a meditation for them, I'll redirect them to like YouTube to do like healing meditations and things like that to help them, feel better about their results, and so they can be on a path of healing. That's kind of the point of the readings I do.
Okay.
So I do want to tell you, Zoe, let's just jump right into it if you don't mind. Unless, do you have any questions or anything to say so far about any of this?
No, actually, no, I don't. Normally I just try to listen, so I'll just try to keep my mouth shut today. Which
And
is
don't hesitate, okay? If you
Okay.
have anything, just interrupt me. I don't mind it at all, because it won't throw me off.
Okay, just so everybody knows that what we get on this taping right now is what we record. So if anything falls down or the lights go off and on because there's a spirit involved in this, that's a joke.
It happens.
Then
And actually, Zoe, why are we so in tune with each other all the time? Like you said, we don't practice this stuff. We just get on video and we start talking.
yeah,
And Dee just starts recording and we just go. And I wanted to tell you right now, you know, I have one light on. This is for lighting purposes. But usually when I do my readings, even at night, because I work at night a lot, I set the candles and I turn my phone off if I can. I mean, I do phone readings for people, so obviously I have my phone on. Right now, obviously we have to have the computer. But I try to turn off most of the electronics and the electricity because there is interference, and that's okay. Sometimes that's a sign for people, but I just kind of like to stay with the natural and just kind of go with that vibe and get the messages that way. There's no wrong way, you know, other people do them differently, that's fine. But I really feel like in my groove and in my element when I'm with like this.
okay, so do you need the lights dimmer to feel more comfortable?
No, I'm fine. We just, like we said, I have one light on like I usually would have on, but it's just so that you guys can see me better, and that's fine.
Okay, all right, just so you're comfortable. All right,
Yeah,
so
we're good.
I'm ready, so hopefully the cat and the dogs will leave me alone, and I'm ready, so let's go ahead and start.
Okay, let's hop right into it. So I want to let you know, we've been talking about doing this video for a little while, and I was thinking about how, you know, which kind of reading should I do for her, because I do several different kinds. Some people want a mediumship reading when I connect with their loved ones on the other side. Some people want to know about their romance life, and so on. And I just go, you know what, the angels really want me to work with Zoe with this reading. And of course, there's somebody that has a lot to say, and I think you know who that is.
Yeah, Vic.
And that would be a really good friend of Zoe's who passed away almost a couple of years ago. You want to go ahead and say who that is? You know who it is.
Yeah, I just said it, Vic.
Yeah. So,
my business partner who died about a year and a half ago, so it's been horrific.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
I know how close, and people who have followed Paranormal Extraction over the years, you guys know who Vic is, and you know how important he was to Zoe and to Dee. So, and to me, I knew him about 6 months before he passed away, and he was a really good man. So he came through, and he's been telling me for a few days that he wanted to be in part of this reading, and he wanted to come through and give you some messages. So normally I would have waited to do this all right now, but he really was coming through and pushing through, telling me he had a couple important messages for you. So I was working last night with some clients, and I just had that really clear connection, and I felt him, and I said, okay, what do you want me to tell her? You're here, or like, I'll come right out and tell her first thing. And he was showing me something about you. He's saying that he wanted you to continue on his legacy of basically his practices. He sees you as kind of doing what he did, teaching, leading some classes, maybe starting a meetup. And this is something that we kind of talked about before.
Right.
And I know it's hard with like the COVID thing and everything right now, but he wants you to know this is actually a good time for you to start planning and putting those classes together.
Okay.
He said you learned a lot from him, like you were just like right under his wing. And he said there's no other student, there's no other colleague or anybody that he ever shared his spiritual practices with that he would be confident enough as you to carry his legacy on and to teach those things to people.
Well, he's just so amazing. I mean, he's irreplaceable. And him being a medicine person / shaman, I mean, if you want to call him that, I can't foresee myself being able to even do that, because I don't know, I just don't feel like I can follow his footsteps in that way. But, I mean, that's interesting, I mean, I'm glad to hear it, but at the same time, I'm thinking, no, how can I, what do you mean I can't do that?
It's a lot to take in, and let me interrupt you because I want to tell you the cards that came out. So last night, as he was telling me this stuff, he's been telling me for a few days now, and I've been like, okay, I'm listening, but I'm still doing my other work. But he kept coming through. So last night, I said, what the hell? I grabbed my angel cards and I shuffled them, and I said, okay, how many messages do you have for, like, I hear what you're saying. Give me two, give me at least 2 clear messages for Zoe that I can tell her tomorrow. And these 2 cards came up, and before I read them to you, sometimes I doubt myself. So this morning I go, okay, that's what I'm gonna tell her. And it goes along with what I just said. And I said, okay, let me try this again. Tell me again to do this, what the same 2 down cards came up, Zoe.
Are you kidding?
And like I said, I was gonna wait to shuffle these all. We'll do a live reading right now, but like I was gonna shuffle these cards and do it all over again right now. But the same 2 cards came up, so I said, okay, I'm just gonna read her these cards.
Wow.
Right,
Cool.
wow, okay, yes,
That's awesome.
definitely.
Okay, so the first card that came up is your angels, especially him. He wants you to know a happy move to a new home or place of employment, and that's the part that I want you to pay attention to, is in the works. This movement will usher in positive new energy. And to me, I don't see you actually moving the first part, like into a home. It means the second part.
I agree.
And you are going to be able to create a curriculum of some sort where you can teach, some kind of classes. It's not going to be exactly like what he was doing. Like you said, we can never be that, but he trusts enough in you. Vic seen so much in you, and he says, like, just remember a lot of the things he's shown you and taught you. You're going to carry on some of that into your own personal, like making it your own. But, again, we talked about this in the past too, and I said, you can teach classes out there. We can get into that later as far as like breaking it down and going over your specialties and putting something together. But I want you to know that this message is really strongly coming through, that I see like by late springtime, like maybe April or May, you can start making an income of some sort, doing some classes, leading some classes for people.
Okay,
The other card that came up, again, these cards came out 3 times, the same exact cards, and you'll see how when I shuffle the decks, I don't play around. I like flop them and flip them and turn them every different way because I want to make sure we're not playing the same cards just because they're stuck.
right,
These
exactly.
cards came out 3 times, the same
What?
2 cards. Okay, he told me he had 2 messages for you,
That's amazing.
to go along with the intuitive message that he had,
Right.
the clairvoyant message. So this card is reminding you about patience in regards to the guidance. I know. And that's something we talked about before. And it says, now is the time to learn, study, and gather information. Enjoy being a student because in the future you will synthesize your knowledge into action. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean, the cards don't always mean exactly word for word. This is, to me, means you've already been the student. You are the teacher. You're so knowledgeable, and I think you're so captivating when you speak because you're so confident. And sometimes even if you don't know the answer to something, you just have a way of saying it to where it's like you'll figure it out, or you know someone who knows that answer. So you're a very trustworthy person in this industry. Right now, especially with all the young people, no offense, but a lot of people are getting into like the paranormal investigations, into doing psychic readings and doing the kind of work that we do. And it's really hard to trust to know who's, really knowledgeable and who really has the experience in this kind of stuff. And you do. And you were under the wing, you learned under one of the best shamans out there.
Yeah.
So, you have a lot of power and a lot of knowledge to share with people.
Wow, okay.
And you already do that, but these cards and the message that Vic was giving me was it's time to take it to another level.
Okay.
This stuff.
Okay.
Well, you
Well,
can, and he's gonna be with you every step of the way, guiding you, and he wants you to know he appreciates what you had to say. He heard what you said about him, and he knows that, you know, we can never be that top guy, but he has a lot of confidence in you.
well, my hands
He
are
does want you to
sweating.
carry that on as much as you can.
My hands are sweating. I think I'm so nervous, my hands are sweating. But I would have to agree with that, and that's kind of where I'm at. So it's definitely something I've been contemplating and not really knowing what direction I'm going in. So that just
Yeah.
kind of gives me a little hope on what direction I should possibly pursue. So
Mhm.
that,
It's definitely a reminder and it's solid guidance. And like I said, moving forward after this video, when we talk on a personal level, I'll help you come up with something to generate.
okay,
Because I agree with Vic and everything, the messages that he had for you. And yes, we need to be seeing more of Zoe as a spiritual teacher of some sort.
wow, okay.
Yeah.
Really quick, I'm putting this deck away. We're gonna move on to like another little kind of reading, and I wanted to tell you guys, for any of you guys who are like newer or not comfortable yet doing your like oracle card, tarot card readings, all of your divinity tools, which divinity tools are like the crystal balls, the cards, the pendulums, and the runes, and all that kind of stuff. We don't use Ouija boards, but some of you guys do. Stuff like that. Make sure you're properly taking care of it. I'm putting these back into like a really pretty bag because I lost the box of these. So if you don't have the original boxes, just like take care of your things because these are beautiful tools. Like these are what we're using to connect with the spirits and to get the messages. So you want to like show respect for them. I don't keep mine like sometimes I have a little table when I do my readings for the psychic shop or for myself, and I'm like, wow, I had 4 readings today. It's time to eat lunch. I take those cards and I put them somewhere else, and I have my lunch, and I clean the table and put it back because you just want to show respect for your divinity tools.
Okay,
That kind of reminded me of that when I was
all right.
putting those. But okay, so we'll do one more card reading, then we'll go on to something else. But I kind of planned this because I said, okay, I'm going to give her this message from Vic, and then I'm going to tell her how I feel about it and what I see. And now I don't want to just send you off like, what do I do now? So I'm going to right now consult my goddess deck. And because we're both very in tune with our feminine energy and our goddess energy. So I'm going to clear off my deck from the last time I used it. And this is just to clear off any kind of stagnant energy or old readings that I did for the last person I used this deck with. And now I'm connecting to the goddess realm, and I am asking, please give us one card, one message, and a goddess that goes along with that card to be with Zoe. It's kind of like an angel, to be with Zoe and to guide her through the process that she's going to be going through in the next several months, and just give her encouragement and give her any messages and signs that she needs to see that she's on the right path, or any guidance that that you guys can give her. Now I'm just going to shuffle my deck a little bit. And this time, like, there's different types of spreads you can do, like, just like tarot, there's different kinds of spreads, and you can do all kinds of cards. Since we're kind of keeping it a little bit shorter today, and we're going to be doing examples of other readings, that's why I said, you know, let's pull one card. So one goddess from the goddess realm, and there's hundreds of thousands of goddesses and ancient goddesses, but one's going to come out that's going to be with Zoe and just stay with her for a while and kind of like Vic's her guardian angel. So this goddess is kind of going to be like somebody special that's going to hang around and just keep her on track and make sure that she's doing what she needs to do on track, and to be what she needs to be with all of this information and other stuff in her life too. So Can you see that?
Not, well, not really.
Put it up a little
Not
closer.
not from my perspective, maybe
Put it up
from
to
these.
the right up to the doodah. Let me see. No, no.
I see it, not really.
No.
You know what? I'll post a picture of it.
Okay,
Okay.
And this is Yamaya. Do you know who she is?
no.
Okay, Yamaya is the goddess of the sea. When I first got into doing like cards and all this stuff, like I don't know how many years ago, I was like a teenager. She used to be I used to say my favorite goddess, but then somebody was like, you shouldn't have a favorite. But I don't know. I love so many of them now. But for a while, for a good couple years, this was my favorite goddess because she's the goddess of the sea, Yamaya. And some call her Yamanya, but it could be Yamanya or Yamaya. She's also well known in Santeria and Yoruba.
Okay.
But Yamaya is the goddess of the sea, and I really connect with her because she's a Scorpio. And who else is a Scorpio?
We are.
Boom, over here.
So,
And
so she might even be around me too. I always feel like a really good sense of protection from her. I feel like she's always watching over me, especially when I go to the ocean. But she came out for you, so let's talk about you. I think that's really special because you're also a Scorpio. So she is definitely one of your main, I would say guardians or ancestors or even a goddess, guidance. And she's just telling you, she's reminding you that you have a golden opportunity coming up and that doors are going to be opening for you. Um, let's see what else. Important doors are opening for you right now. Walk right through them. She's going to be there, like, kind of nudging you to go through these doors because, like I said, I really see things picking up for you later on in spring, whether it's with these classes or one thing also I want to tell you, I don't want you to be discouraged right now. I know it's easy for a lot of maybe people watching right now too. On that light went off. It's okay.
That's cool.
Um, it's gonna be hard times, just like we talked about recently in some of the other videos. But we have to stay focused on keep moving towards the things you want to work on, keep moving towards your visions because those things are still going to happen. And it's okay to get discouraged and have days where you feel like it's not going to happen. That's okay. But don't stay in those days too long. Okay. She's telling you these doors are going to be wide open for you, girlfriend. And Yamaya and Vic and me, we want to see you go through those doors and you're ready. They just need you to stay focused and preparing. So getting things together so that when the world comes back together and we're able to do all this stuff again, guess who's going to be front in line and ready to offer those classes?
me.
Zoe
Yeah.
Star.
Okay.
She's not going to be sitting on the couch twiddling her thumb saying, oh, the world's open again and look at all these people teaching classes and spiritual things and maybe I should go get in line. No, she's going to be right there like, boom. Hey guys, guess what? Now that we can all be together again, I have this class going on and you guys should sign up and you're just going to be really ready to go. That's what I see.
Okay.
And also, not only classes, that's just going to be a little kind of thing for you. Well, it might turn big, but with, I'm going to get a little bit personal, not too personal. And I think everybody knows about this who's watching. Zoe is meant to be on TV. Zoe is meant to be in front of that camera. And I know things have changed a lot with like the media and technology, and now there's not really a lot of TV shows. There's a lot of like Hulu and Netflix stuff. So don't be surprised if you see Zoe on Netflix or something coming up. I'm serious.
Okay. No, I
That's
no.
what
I
I'm
mean,
gonna do it.
believe me, the best time in my life that I ever had was being on the Travel Channel. It was the best experience I've ever had in my entire life. I mean, I felt like so alive and so elated. It was just absolutely amazing. So yeah, something like that would be absolutely phenomenal.
And sometimes people have their 15 minutes of fame, or sometimes you see a family member like, oh, they came out on the news. No, this lady needs to be on TV. We need to be watching her series. I think everybody knows that, and that's why they love watching your videos. So not only are we going to make that happen, but it's literally in the cards.
Boom.
Literally in the cards.
Okay.
So, Yamaya and I'll text you, or you know, like I said, we can refer back to the video, and you can always ask me questions about anything that we're going over right now. But Yemaya is going to be the goddess that's going to stick with you. So anytime you're doing anything like in the water, like for me, it's, you know, I live right by the ocean, so I'm connected with her all the time. But with you, remember, she's goddess of the sea. So you might want to listen to waves, like a meditation with wave sounds, and
Well,
connect with
I
her. And ask
go, I go to the marina pretty much 5 days a week with my dog, so I'm right there, and that's like a man-made marina, so I can do it right there.
Yeah, you can. And sometimes people have seen her actually show up in like a mermaid form. So, you know, you don't have to look out for her, but just kind of envision her, you know, there when you're at the marina, just swimming through and being right next to you and giving you peace and giving you clarity so that you can hear her messages solid and clear,
Right,
crystal
okay,
clear.
okay.
I'm gonna do that for you. These, like I said, I know sometimes people say don't pick favorites of certain archangels and things like that, but I don't know if favorite is the right word, but like I said, she's the first goddess that I really felt a connection with, and for a couple years, I don't worship them, but I only worked with her and listened to her. Now I have several, but she's very special to me, and I think she's going to be very special to you as well.
Okay, well, thank you.
So sometimes I kiss them and thank them for the messages that they give us. Now, what I want to ask you
The lighting.
is, so there's a couple other little examples we can use for readings. I'm gonna kind of hand it over to you. Is there anything specifically that you want to ask for or ask about that you want to know? Because we can consult the crystal ball or the pendulum.
Actually,
You don't have to.
actually, you covered exactly. I mean, we haven't talked in a long time, so I had no idea how this was going to go. But you pretty much covered everything that I kind of have been contemplating for months since Vic has passed. You know, I don't know what to do now that he's gone because I feel like a chunk of me is gone.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like I'm starting to get a little emotional because I feel
I knew that would happen.
I feel dead without him.
Mm.
So, do I have any questions? Yeah, I want to know when my emotional stability is going to come back.
It's in the works, and it's all part of this plan that's coming up for you. You know, you have been working on it, and I know, like I said, this goes for everybody watching, because I know a lot of people are going through hard times right now. A lot of people have lost loved ones because of everything going on. A lot of people have lost money and they're feeling in despair right now. But here's what I want to share with Zoe. This is a message for Zoe answering her question, but it can also be for a lot of you, and I know it's for me as well. It's okay to have those days when you feel like that's normal. We cannot go on pretending like everything is perfect every day. It's not. We're going through crazy shit. But as long as you're working on yourself and you're doing something to heal those emotions, and Zoe, you have been. I know we take breaks from it. Sometimes it gets overwhelming, the things that we feel when we're working on healings, but keep working on those healings, keep listening to the angels' guidance, you know, accept the angels into your life, accept Yemaya, the goddess, into your life. Dedicate some time to them daily, breathe. It's happening. It's a process. And it's not ever going to be perfect. Your how did you word that again? Your emotional state,
Yeah.
or well-being.
No,
How did you say that?
emotional stability. When was I
Emotional
going to
stability.
get emotional stability again?
Okay. And so for you and for me and everyone, that's not always going to be every day 100% feel like we're emotionally stable. But you personally, I do see in the next few months before you start doing those classes, it's all a part of the plan. You're working on yourself, you know. I'm always here to help you with stuff like that. Doing meditations, just doing things to clear off things that have happened to us in our past, and just kind of accepting things that have happened to us in our past, and just not forgetting them or saying that they don't exist or they didn't happen, but just saying, you know what, that has consumed enough of me. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna walk over here and start doing something different that feels better. So the more you practice that, I do see in a few months you are going to be feeling like you're more in control of your emotional stability.
Okay, good.
Okay, it's a process and it takes work. I'm working on it myself for things that I'm going through, and I've been telling my clients and other people it will happen. But guess who's the biggest part of deciding when it's going to happen and how it's going to happen? We are, because we have to say, okay, I felt like really crappy for a day or two, and I was really depressed. Maybe I didn't get out of bed, maybe I didn't eat, maybe I didn't take a shower, but guess what? I'm not gonna let that happen for too long. I gotta get my ass up, I gotta do my meditations, I gotta work on my healing, because even those dark days are part of the process of the healing,
Right.
okay?
Well, I do all of that work, but then it's kind of gotten to a point where it's not really working for me anymore. So I've reached out to other resources just recently to help me through just a totally different resources to get me into something that would be a different type of healing than I've done before. So I have done that in the last week, just started that process. So I think that that is something that I was putting off and I didn't want to do, but because nothing's working and because of the emotional instability that I'm feeling, even though I'm doing all my spiritual work and I'm meditating and all that, I really believe that that's going to help. So I could see by spring, as you say, that I would be more, more balanced with having a couple months behind my belt with this. So
Yes.
I agree with you on that.
Yes, and hats off to you. I'm really proud of you for saying, and guys, please listen to everything she just said. She's being vulnerable and she's being candid and honest about her process. And she said she has been working on this stuff and she just felt like it wasn't working anymore. So now she's doing something different. So you got to pay attention to, let me tell you something. You can call me or any other psychic and we can do a reading for you and we can say, oh yeah, in 2 months you're going to be doing much better. But if you can't call us it's just unrealistic to depend on psychics for this information. Like, you are the one with power, people, you guys. So you have to pay attention to your own process. And like Zoe just said, if something doesn't feel right or something just feels like it's not working anymore, then what are you going to do? If you choose to stay stuck in that spot and not help yourself and ask for help or do something different, nobody else, no magical fairy, no psychic is going to drop out of the sky and say, hey, you got to do something different. You have to be the person to say, you know what, I'm still on my path of healing. Something needs to change. I got to reach out and do something differently.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Good.
So I'm doing it.
Good. And like I said, guys, listen to her. It's okay. We all have our moments that aren't that great, but guess what? We all have more moments that are great. So just think about that and try and focus on that. I know it's not easy. But I didn't come here today, or I don't answer my phone to customers to lie and to tell them that everything is, rose shade sunglasses and pink butterflies everywhere. Not like that.
Well, I think that's what's coming through today by you doing the reading with me
Mhm.
is exactly, that's why we're doing this. So people can see what happens with a true reader, somebody who's very, very good in the industry and who doesn't rip people off and just tell them what they want to hear or people become addicted to. You don't allow that to happen. So, I mean, if anyone's been watching this now, you can obviously see that this is not going to be some woo thing. I mean, she's hit on a couple points with me, which I didn't even know what she was going to say, that are very true. And a lot of them, even I got emotional about it. So you can expect that those kind of things can probably happen when you have this done with a really good reader. So what's next on the list? Now my hands aren't sweating, so I'm good.
Good. Yeah, and just so you guys know, and at the end of the video, I'll just give you really quick my contact information and how to reach me and stuff. But um, I'm keeping it light, and yeah, we get a little bit personal. But when you do a reading with me, it's kind of like I don't control it. I ask you first. Is there? This is the first thing I always say to people. Hello, this is Crystal. Is there anything in particular that you specifically want to work on today to get answers for, or would you just like a general reading?
Right.
That's so, you as the client are the one who gets to really decide how deep we're gonna go. But when we're not in front of hundreds of people watching, we get a little bit more personal.
Right.
Things come up that, that are a little bit more candid, but that's all, private between us on the phone. So I do want to tell you, I pulled this deck out. I've been working with the Romance Angels a lot because of Valentine's, so people wanted love and relationship guidance. But I feel like there's a couple people, I feel like there's 2 or 3 people that are going to be watching this video that need to hear something about their love life. So I'm just going to do like a general little, we're going to pull 1 card. I don't want to go too much because I don't know if there's anything else I want to do. So do you mind if I do that really quick?
No, go ahead. I mean, I'm open.
All right, so I'm connecting with the Romance Angels, and I want the Romance Angels. These guys have been telling me that there is some information that somebody out there watching Zoe's video needs to know about their love life, and we're gonna keep it simple. They're telling me they have a lot of messages for people that are watching you right now, Zoe, but I am going to say that we're just gonna pull 1 card, and then if there's anybody watching that feels like they need to know more or they want to know more, then maybe they can reach out to me and we can set something up.
Right.
And go, deeper into that reading with the Romance Angels. But definitely they were telling me that somebody watching this, and I feel like there's at least 2, maybe 3 people that this card, this 1 message is going to be really hit home for them. This is something that they just need to know. And this card is, they're all telling me, this is how it works. Like, they talk to me as I'm shuffling and stuff. They're telling me that this 1 message that's going to come out, it's nothing new. It's actually confirmation for the people who feel like this card is for them. They've been dealing with this certain, I don't want to say issue, but question in their mind for a while, or maybe there's been a little doubt or something. And they kind of know intuitively that this is true for them, but this card is going to bring it home for them because it's going to be the confirmation that they need to hear right now.
Okay.
In regards to whatever.
Is this also for me, or is it just for other people?
I feel like this is for you. This is for, specifically, they're telling me somebody that's going to be watching this, and it's 2, I feel like it's 2 people, but the angels are telling me there's more. So it's like 2 or 3. There's a few people that this card, so okay. There's a lot of psychics that do like YouTube readings and stuff like that, and I've had a lot of people that follow me on my Instagram. Why don't you do live readings for, pull a general card? I don't do that. Again, I don't want to knock anyone's technique because some people like that. I feel like readings are personal. The information that comes out, this 1 card isn't going to be for everybody in the world.
Right.
I don't know. This card might say break up with your husband. That's not for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't like to do my readings like that, but I will say right now, the Romance Angels are saying that this message is for about 2 or 3 people that are watching Zoe's post video. Okay. And they just guide me how to pick the card. So, okay, someone's gonna be having a baby.
That's definitely not me.
Uh-oh, Dee.
No,
What?
that's definitely not me. I just got a baby. I got a baby kitty.
Yeah, that was a while ago. She can't.
Okay, so it's definitely not me either, I don't think. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So there's somebody watching the video, and now we pulled the card, now I'm gonna go off of like what I'm getting additionally for the card from the Romance Angels is telling us someone is either planning to have a baby or they're going to find out that they're having a baby. And I feel like one of the people or 2 watching this, it's for them and they feel nervous, they weren't ready. I feel like they already have kids and maybe they just weren't financially expecting another one or something, but this is divine timing. Babies are a blessing. It's a beautiful thing. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna figure it out. God wants you to have this baby, and your angels are with you. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. You're gonna be really happy. One other person watching, the reason why they're kind of nervous about having a baby is because they're getting out of their relationship. They're not going to be with this father anymore or the baby. It's okay. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed of yourself. You can still go on and have a really good life and give everything to this baby by yourself. And actually, you're probably most likely going to meet someone else down the road who's going to be like in this baby's life too. So
Okay.
don't worry about that. You're gonna be just fine, and this baby is going to enhance your life so much. I'm really happy for you.
Couldn't that mean a birth of something new?
It could be. So the cards always mean like different things, but this card wasn't for you, Zoe.
Oh, okay.
The romance angels were telling me like it was specifically for somebody watching. There's like I said, there's a couple people watching that are gonna be watching this when you post it that needed to hear that message. But
Okay.
yes, you're right. The cards don't always mean word for word, and this card in particular is about children. This one wouldn't mean like about, I think you're thinking about the birth, like rebirth card or
Right.
birth, giving birth to new ideas, giving birth to new adventures. Yes, that could mean that if you picked the like rebirth card, but we picked children. So, there's a lot of children energy, child energy going around right now with that card, but in particular, there, like I said, there's somebody out there watching that who, I feel like they're feeling that way because they're not going to be with that person anymore, and they kind of feel like embarrassed to tell their friends and family that they're expecting, but it's okay.
Wow, well, that's a great message to other people. So what deck are we doing, or what are you doing next?
Well, I mean, that's pretty much it,
Mhm.
unless, you know, like I said, if you had a question, and you said you didn't, do you have a question about anything?
Do you have a question?
Well, let me see here. I have a question that involves all three of us, and that question is the capability to continue through this hard times. Just a question of just to see like when peace is going to become not so much peace, but the melding again of people. I have a question. It might be a little too vague, but how far can the pendulum answer a time zone? That's what my question will be.
When people can come back together again
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
like safely and all that.
Just, I
like,
think
like
people-
how I said when the world's gonna open again.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
That's what he's asking?
From the
Yeah,
powerful
and
crystal.
He wants to know about with the pendulum.
Yeah, I'll see.
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, do
So,
it.
okay.
Chris-
Well, with pendulum, it kind of has to be like a yes or no question.
Yes.
But I do want to say
Okay,
in regards,
I know.
I don't want to disregard your question.
No, let's
It's clearly
say
one that I get a lot.
The question will
And
be, oh, I'm sorry.
I don't like to lie.
The question will be like, is it soon? Will it be soon or later? Is the question will
Okay.
be, is the
And
question
then I'll
going to
tell
be
you
soon?
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
there we go.
I want soon.
I know we all do, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so soon is yes, because
Mm-hmm.
I have my pendulum program that if it goes back and
Yes.
forth, that
Mhm.
means yes,
Mhm.
and right and left means no. If
Right.
it circles or kind of pauses, that means ask later, maybe, you know, there's a little bit of conflicting info.
Right.
But it was swinging strongly back and forth, meaning soon, yes. Now, I want
Sweet.
to kind of follow up with that, because that's a general answer that soon could be for you tomorrow, but soon to the universe could mean 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know why I'm feeling this, but and maybe it's because of the talk that's been going around, but I do feel like late spring, a lot of changes are going to be going on that are going to involve things opening up more and people being able to interact in larger groups again.
Okay, that's great.
And again, that kind of goes with what I was telling Zoe, why I feel like in late spring, she's going to be doing some group things, you know. It might still be a little more like organized with like, okay, you can hold an event with like 10 people or something like that, but gradually it's going to be happening, and I do see these things happening in springtime.
Okay.
So in regards to these questions, to me, that's soon.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Cool.
So, okay, well, I mean, everybody always wants to know about this. What about money?
Yes, and even I do.
And it's about
course.
money, so everybody always asks a question about money. I mean, I don't think anyone wouldn't ask. I mean, even, you know, Tesla would ask, you know, even though he's the number one, you know, he makes the most money out of anyone, right? Tesla,
Elon Musk?
Elon Musk, right?
What about him?
He makes the most money out of anybody in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he probably even has a question on how much he's losing at the factory. But so what about a question that would be my last question about financial stability coming in?
For you personally?
For both of us. Yeah, for me and for Dee.
For you and for Dee? Okay.
Why not?
And again, this time let's
Do it.
practice this.
Do it, Crystal.
I don't really use it too much, but just, you know,
Work it.
give you guys a little example.
Nice. I'm zooming in.
So I'm seeing, wow, you guys have actually, your angels are taking care of both of you because they're putting you guys on a path to financial freedom and to just feeling better about your finances. It's been happening for a while. In fall, Dee is going to be getting a pay increase. I can't tell if it's like another job opportunity where he's at. I feel like maybe there is some kind of promotion coming up, but definitely a pay increase for Dee. And Zoe, what we spoke about earlier with what Vic was trying to tell us and what the card said earlier, just about getting organized and getting your plan together to teach these classes, that's going to bring in an extra income for you. But I also see some kind of other work for you as well, Zoe, in the future, coming up within the next year. So that combined is going to help you to like significantly increase your income.
Well, if I got on TV and I had the right contract, right, then the money could definitely be generated from that, but it would have to be the right contract.
Right, of course. And
Yeah.
you're very savvy about like knowing all that stuff.
Yes, you gotta have a good contract.
Yeah. But I do still see you doing stuff in the entertainment business with this, you know, paranormal extraction.
Cool.
So, but also the other things are going to bring in income for you guys as well.
Okay.
Sweet.
All right, sounds good.
Sweet.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you coming on today, but how are people going to find you? Let's go over that.
I am on Instagram, and when Zoe posts this video, I'll go ahead and comment my my Instagram handle. It's Crystals World. It's Crystals 3x_world. That's my Instagram, and you can just message me on there. I have posts and videos about like kind of what I do and like to interact with people, but you can find me there and you can book with me through there. I offer 1 hour readings on the phone because of COVID right now. I can't work in person. And I personally, through my private practice, I offer $25 text readings, but that means we will not be on the phone talking to each other. It's just you tell me what you want to know, I pull a few cards, really quick transaction. $25 for that. But if you want to know more, I do recommend doing the 1 hour. And then also, I work for a psychic shop called Crystal Cave on Tuesdays, and I can also post their information. You can just go on there, call them, and request me.
Well, that sounds great. So it's Crystal Cove. Can they find that just by looking it up in
It's Crystal Cave, like a crystal cave.
Crystal Cave. And
Yes.
where is it located?
It is in Costa Mesa, California. They do have a website, and I'm not a reader. They have other readers listed. So if you feel like there's another reader that's more suitable for you, for example, a lot of times people want tarot or astrology. I don't do either of those two. I love them. It's just not my forte, and I don't like to bullshit people. I say, let's do what we know best.
Right.
So there's really good tarot and astrology readers on their website. you can, request them if that's your thing. It's crystalcave.com.
crystalcave.com. And then
Yes.
to find you on Instagram, it's crystal__ world.
3 times.
It's crystals, like multiple crystals, CRYSTALS __ world
Okay.
on
Crystals.
Instagram.
Okay.
And on Instagram, I have where you just message me right there. We set up the reading. And I also have the information for the psychic shop there. So you can just call them or you can look at their website and see the other readers.
Okay, and also everybody, you can also you can send an email directly to me to get her information right off Paranormal Extraction where you're at right now watching this. You can just send an email or you can send me an instant message from there. So that's how we can find Crystal. If anyone's interested in doing this, I highly suggest it, and I believe that it can really help a lot of people. As you can see, it's helped me today, and it's not a lot of fluffy bullshit, it's the real thing. So I hope everybody has enjoyed watching. Maybe you've never seen this before. Now you have an idea that maybe your mind is a little bit more open to doing these different modalities to help us grow on different levels, mentally, spiritually, or physically. So if you want to do that, why don't you do it with Crystal?
Boom.
So that's what I have to say. Is there any last words from you? I think, thank you. I want to tell you thank you so much for today.
Well, thank you guys for having me on here. I really appreciate it. It was really cool. Like I said, I normally don't do stuff like this, but because it was you and because we have that mutual, respect and history and we know each other, like this is why I was willing to do that. But I hope it gives other people, an idea. They've been I get a lot of people that are nervous. They've never had a reading and they think it's all like voodoo,
Right, exactly.
So, and some people are, and like I said, that's okay. Everybody has their different techniques, but I'm a very approachable person. I'm very real. I'm not going to steal your money or take your money. I want the best for you, just like I want the best for Zoe D, for me, and my loved ones. I treat everybody the same. So never hesitate to reach out to me, and just thank you so much, Zoe, for having me do this today.
Yeah, thank you. And
I like that. I gotta say that I like when the light went off because the candles are the real crystal in your environment. So, bam! You lit up the.
Yeah,
You lit
so
up with them.
part of it's with the lights on and part of it's with the lights off, but they both look really good. So you've got both worlds coming in there. So I think you'll be happy
Yeah.
on this one, since you normally do it in lower lighting, which is the way it is right now. So
Very nice.
it's coming through and it all looks great. So
Good job, girls.
okay, everybody.
Thank you, Dee.
So thank you so much, and so we're gonna say over and out. Hope you enjoyed the show today.
And I'm gonna say, come on, fall. Later. Love you guys.